Hi y'all, I'm Allison. Welcome to the Mighty BuJo. We've got part 3 of the 2018 setup, but before we get into that, I wanted to customize my cover a little bit just to make it extra pretty. So this is just a wide strip of washi tape, and you just line up your edges and fold over the tabs onto the inside of your book. And now yours is completely unique for you. So I like it. Alright, we're just going to dive right in and pick up where we left off after part 2. And the first page is going to be for jotting down all of the little tips and inspiration, my go-to places that I like to check out. And I meant to go and find out exactly how she pronounces her name. I'm afraid to even attempt it. Makochina, I don't know. She is great for beginner watercolor tips, so if you're looking to learn more about watercoloring, go check out that first website. These are all YouTube channels, and they've got some really great tips if you're a beginner and need some guidance along the way. These are the ones that I have turned to. In fact, Heather Styles Life, she is the one where I got the idea to do my feature log that I laid out in part 1 with the vertical with the little graphic at the bottom tying into my themes. And this is where I'm going to jot down theme ideas that I have. Alright, this is going to be my wish list page. And I'm sure everyone has come across this, but you always have, some items that you would love to have or you think would be useful, and then as soon as your birthday or Christmas comes around, and somebody asks you what you would like, it's always, and your mind goes blank. So, standard bullet journal page, and that's just to jot down those little things that you think of. And number 1 on my list is I want the Dyson cord-free vacuum. With 4 animals, it would make my life a little easier. Now here is another traditional bullet journal collection page that I'm sure you've seen, but I love this one. And it's for movies. So what I'm doing here is making little movie tickets. It's a little time consuming, but not too bad. And then just squiggling the lines so they look more like tickets. And adding the little line, how they have the numbers on the edge, which I use that in just a moment to add a little bit more detail. Now, something you'll probably notice me do quite a bit is I will have pencil lines written into my book, and more often than not, I will ignore them, like I just did on this title. More often than not, I'm just putting them in there to see how much space I will need to be able to fit everything, and sometimes I'll just put an arrow indicating, hey, I need to shift this over to the left. So instead of erasing it and redoing it, I just kind of adjust with my pen. Now, like I mentioned with those little lines, what I do is on the line on the left, I put when the movie is going to be released. And right there, I'm just fixing it because I didn't like the format. I'm trying to get them all the same, since those were movies from last year. But anyway, after I see the movie, then on the line on the right, I put the date that I actually went to go see it. Now this page is another standard bullet journal page, and this is to be read. So I'm drawing a basic bookcase. I can't talk today. Now, if you haven't seen the beginning of my yearly setup, I'll put a link up top for y'all, and yeah, you can go check it out. And what I'm doing here is just coloring in the background. The bottom shelf, I won't be adding any more books, but in the top I might stack another one on top of those that are laying horizontal, so I just left the gray off. That way if I want, I can draw in space for another book, or I can just come in later and color it with my background color. I am an avid reader, but I haven't had time. I'll go through phases to where I read a ton. Like, it's not uncommon for me to read 3, sometimes even 4 books in a week. And then I'll go through a phase where I don't pick up one for a month or so. So I never know. I could easily color in a lot of these, or it could be untouched. I'm hoping to get to color some in, though. I've missed my books. And I did get a few new ones for Christmas. And over here, this little page will show you why I seem to always run out of time. And this is going to be my hobby tracker. What I do in my monthly habit tracker is I just put down hobbies, and then if I actually spend some time with one, I come over to this page and mark exactly what it was. It'll make more sense here in just a moment. Now these boxes are 4x4, and that's to allow me to, for those really ambitious fun days, that way I can mark more than one hobby if need be. There's stocking, writing, and that would be for my Sims blog. Let's see. Hand lettering, practicing calligraphy, doodling, drawing, learning guitar, playing The Sims, or crafting. So if I do one of these, I'll mark it on my monthly habit tracker as hobby time. Then I flip over here and I'll color in, like if I spent time doodling that day, or if I finally worked on my daughter's stocking, which, by the way, I did not get finished for Christmas last year. So the countdown begins again, and hopefully I'll have it for her by this December. I think we're going on 9 years now. Terrible, I know, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, tons of hobbies. Now Now this is another classic page, and it's for gift ideas. Since I just did one in December for Christmas presents, I wanted to change it up a little bit, and I made this one a 2-page spread. And this is just to jot down present ideas that I have for birthdays, Father's Day, Mother's Day, that kind of stuff. But one thing I've discovered while doing this is this reminds me of, I think it's the Swiss flag. I think theirs is the shape. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but for some reason Swiss comes into mind. But I do love these colors together. I know it's a little springy, but yeah, they're so pretty. One thing I've found with this Tombow, it's $4.91. When it dries, the ink seems to get a little bit darker, but it's still a very light blue. I think it's called Glacier Blue. This also reminds me of a beach towel. We definitely have summer on the brain. We're supposed to get hit with a bad cold front tonight. So we're gonna drop down into the 20s, I believe, and they're even calling for an inch or two of snow. I know y'all are probably laughing at me, but in Texas that means shut down the state. For one, we're not equipped for it. We don't have salt trucks. And two, it typically means we're just gonna have ice on the highways and on the roads, and it gets pretty scary. And that's just worrying about the truck next to you. So I hit the grocery store today. We're stocked up and I'm not going anywhere. Now this is just a list of natural skincare recipes and or alternatives. So again, referring to my habit tracker, if you've ever noticed, I always put castor oil on there for part of my night routine and hand lotion. And this is what I'm talking about. I've put castor oil in a mascara tube, an empty one that you can buy. And just by brushing that on, it's supposed to condition and thicken your lashes. And I use almond oil for a hand lotion. So I've got that in a little like eyedropper bottle. And you just get a dropper full and drop it in your hand and rub it into your skin. And last May, I found Clean My Space with Melissa Maker on YouTube. I absolutely love her website, and her personality is great. But my house has never been cleaner. I got her book and started following her methods, and it's just incredible. And these are recipes that she has to make your own foaming hand soap or regular hand soap. I also make all of my own household cleaners now, and it works so much better, and it's saving me a small fortune. So go check out Clean My Space if you haven't ever looked over there, especially when it's time for spring cleaning. These are my zebra mild liners. I always forget that I have them. And I decided to use them to make it look like these are just post-it notes. I did do this page pretty much almost the same way in my first bullet journal, and I liked it so much I decided to copy it over. I'm constantly making more of the hand soap, so it's nice to have this in my bullet journal so I can easily flip it open and make new ones. Alright, so that was it, 6 more. So we've got the bullet journal inspiration and tips and place for theme ideas. Speaking of which, if there's any theme you'd like me to attempt, Put it down in the comments and let me know, and I'll see what I can come up with. There's the movies and wish list. And the chibi red. I don't know what it is. It's a very simple page, but I really like how the hobby tracker one turned out. I think it's the big dots of color. And there we go. That's the end of my 2018 setup. It took me 35 pages to get ready to start January. Now do you see why I've been behind? Anyway, my next video will be my cover page for January. It's all done and filmed. I just need to edit it. So hopefully I will have that for y'all very soon. So be sure and keep an eye out. Thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye, y'all.